come with us to explore one of our favourite cities in the UK, Edinburgh, where we explore the key sites of the castle, the Royal Mile and the picturesque Old Town. We'll show you this fab city from high vantage points and winding back streets, plus hidden gems within the city you will not want to miss. We'll show you some great places to drink with fantastic views, and some incredible restaurants with food to match. So come join us for an essential guide to a weekend in Edinburgh. We opted to fly from London Heathrow, which meant we then had to catch the tram into the city centre, which was a seamless door-to-door journey in about 30 minutes and cost us £9.50 for an open return. Tickets could be booked easily at the self-service machines, and the station was only a short walk out of the airport. The tram journey gave us the opportunity to see the wider city. Frankly though, coming in by intercity train takes exactly the same amount of time and brings you into the central part of town by Waverley station. However, we disembarked at St Andrew's Square in the new town for the short walk to the old town, where our hotel was located between the two on North Bridge, and was able to choose a room on a high floor with a great view back towards the Balmoral Hotel and Calton Hill. We chose the Hilton Edinburgh Carlton for location, for Hilton points, and also a chain hotel, as frankly we did not plan to spend a huge amount of time in the hotel as would be out and about the whole weekend. The hotel and room were both of a good standard, as you would expect from a trusted hotel chain. And by checking in via the Hilton Honors app, I was able to choose this particular room. It is always worth checking your hotel on Google Street View first, which showed that the streets were narrow and the building tall, so many of the rooms would not have much of a view. But by using the room map, I was able to choose a high floor and the end of the building to grant us this great view. There is also an excellent and more characterful Radisson, where I've since stayed, round the corner. But both hotels are a great location at the foot of the Royal Mile, where you can also cut down through Cockburn Street back into the new town and Waverley Station. But was already early afternoon, so our priority was to explore the top end of the Royal Mile. Edinburgh is well known for its festival Fringe, which takes place through August. So if you appreciate your arts, this is a great time to come. However, do book in advance, as the prices are peak season. But you will see colourful characters such as this escapologist stroke comedian, who will pop up throughout the city all year long. It would be easy to be distracted, however we pushed on up past St.Giles Cathedral, which we chose not to visit. However, you can enter for a suggested donation of £6 with free tours in late morning and early afternoon. As we reached Tolbooth Kirk Church, instead of continuing up the hill as we were visiting the castle the following day, we chose to hang a left here, down Upper Bow to one of the most picturesque spots in all of Edinburgh, Victoria Terrace and Victoria Street. This could be very easy to overlook if rushing up to the castle. However, it is an absolute must-do as one of the most photographed and recognisable streets in the whole of Edinburgh. So after exploring the upper terrace with some great little cafes, head down these stairs following the signs to Grassmarket to bring you out at street level, where you will find a colourful and eclectic mix of quirky shops and boutiques to keep you very well distracted. Instead, our focus was on food, as due to our early start and travel day, we had not eaten since breakfast that morning and wanted to try an iconic Edinburgh eatery at the most famous of its three locations.
So we are off to try somewhat of an Edinburgh institution. This is Oink that does hog roast, so we are literally off to make a pig of ourselves.
Oink is operated by local farmers who cook up a hog roast every morning, and once it's gone, it's gone. So with their amusing portion names, it would have been rude not to go for the largest grunter, which I went for a chili jam sauce, and a stuffing went for haggis, obviously, and even came complete with a shortbread piglet biscuit.
Here we go.
Cheers, thank you very much. Cheers, thank you.
Suitably stuffed, it was time to continue down the hill from Victoria Street into the marketplace of Grassmarket. Historically the site of public executions, thankfully now is better known for its great selection of pubs and restaurants. It would be easy to be distracted by one of the first venues you come to, but push to the end to a far more characterful and unique venue. Cold Townhouse is a craft brewery and a converted church. Set over 3 floors with a bar, a restaurant, and best of all, a roof terrace. Accessed most easily from steps down the side of the building, you'll need to be prepared to work up a thirst to be rewarded with an amazing rooftop terrace with fantastic views of the castle. And although the Scottish weather is known to be a little temperamental, do make sure you book this space in advance, as it gets very popular, especially as their sunny days are few and far between in Edinburgh. Luck, however, was on our side and the sun was out, so this made this location a perfect pit stop before heading further up Castle Hill. So do be prepared to experience 4 seasons in a day in Edinburgh. However, when the sun is out, this city is a fantastic place to be. Thankfully, it was only a few more steps up to Johnson Terrace, so we could circle back down to the Royal Mile. We were keen to get back for our evening plans, however, with hindsight, maybe should have stayed out a little longer. As you will find in Edinburgh, the weather does change rather quickly. Heading back down the hill, we didn't have time this trip to explore the far end of the Royal Mile, where you will find Holyrood Palace and Abbey Ruins, official residence of the royal family in Edinburgh. After a freshen up and unpack, it was time to head back to the new town, and just off St Andrew Square you will find Tattu. Serving contemporary Asian cuisine, Tattu can be found in a number of major UK cities. Known as much for their striking interiors as their incredible food, their Edinburgh venue is perhaps their most intimate. We had previously eaten in their Manchester venue, however I'm pleased to say that their Edinburgh restaurant was equally on par and the food was just as great. The menu is varied and extensive, and you are guaranteed to find something on there that you will like. We are not big sushi eaters, but there is an extensive menu if that is your thing. But the one thing is, the setting absolutely matches the standard of the food. Such a great setting was always going to be hard to beat. However, to come out of the restaurant at 10 p.m. at night in the summer to find that it is still dusk was a great bonus. Walking past the iconic Balmoral Hotel, lit up in the evening, and around to the skyline of the old town, lit up at night, it couldn't have been a more perfect end to the evening. But it was time to call it a night, as we had an early start the next day. With a big day ahead of us, we thought it best to load up, so where better than the City Cafe. At the bottom of the Royal Mile at the Starbucks, turn left into Blair Street and you will find a far more colourful option. And their options of Eggs Benedict, French toast and pancakes will beat a blueberry muffin any day of the week. Fully loaded as their breakfasts, We were fueled up on protein, sugar and caffeine. It was off to explore the city for the rest of the day, and heaven knows we were going to need it.
So, fab breakfast, and now time to actually hike up the hill and walk it all off.
So take the time to explore the passageways and alleys that come off the Royal Mile, including the real Mary's King's Close, preserving the hidden streets under the Royal Mile. Plus, at the top, past the Scotch whisky experience, up to the castle itself, where you get a great view of Arthur's Seat, guaranteed to give you the best views of Edinburgh if you're willing to do the hike to the top. Edinburgh Castle, however, was the main attraction for us. Prices varying between £15.50 and £19.50. Definitely worth booking in advance to guarantee entry. Though the weather was definitely looking a little bit more on the dubious side today, which, true to form, started to rain almost the moment we reached the top to enjoy the views. Though I'm sure in Scotland, if you can still see the view from the top, I'm not sure that really counts as rain. Occupied as a strategic position since the Iron Age, there has been a castle on this site since the 11th century. The castle is the one must-do when in Edinburgh, and regardless of weather, has a number of indoor exhibits to bring the history of the castle to life. The castle is also home to the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo, which takes place in August, aligning with the festival fringe. The castle is also well known for the 1 o'clock gun. However, we missed it as we're stuck in a queue to one of the exhibits. Many of the exhibits link back to the castle's military heritage and time as a garrison, and these include the National War Museum of Scotland and the Prisoner of War exhibit as well. However, the exhibits are quite varied, so do pick them according to your level of interest, such as the Fight for the Castle exhibit, which documents the defence of the castle over the centuries. One we opted for was the Great Hall, one of the best preserved examples of a medieval hall that dates back to 1511. As the original site of the Royal Palace of Scotland, the castle is also home to the Honours of Scotland, the oldest crown jewels in the British Isles. However, given the size of the queue, we opted to skip this, so this might be one to head to when you first arrive. If you're looking for even more detail, audio guides start at £3.50 per person, and escorted tours run at various times through the day with different itineraries starting at £19. Behind the Royal Palace, you will find the Half Moon Battery, the row of cannons that used to defend the approach up to the castle. We then finished our tour at St Margaret's Chapel, the oldest building in Edinburgh, dating back to 1250. Which, ironically, for a place of worship, is then paired outside with Mons Meg, a colossal 6-ton cannon. So remember, if you're enjoying this video, we please ask that you hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate the support, and it will help us bring you even more content like this in the future. Tour of the castle complete, we felt we had achieved our daily quota of culture and history, so it was time to head back down the ramparts and down the Royal Mile to explore some of Edinburgh's more picturesque spots, some well known and some a little more hidden away. Coming back down the hill, you will find a building between the Scotch whisky experience and the church, where a discreet sign to Boswell Court will take you to an alley to the Witchery, considered by many the finest restaurant in Edinburgh and one for the bucket list next time we come back. Continuing down the hill, we take a left into one of the alleyways into Milnes Court, which leads us to the far side of the Royal Mile to connect into the new town. Here you are circling the new college of the University of Edinburgh, but don't be tempted to pass by and look for this fantastic courtyard, with an absolute gem of a photo opportunity that many people miss. Photos done, it was time to head down the hill towards the new town, crossing over one of the bridging points known as the Mound opposite the National Galleries of Scotland, where we headed down the steps on the corner of Princess Street into Princess Street Gardens. This park separates the old and the new town with fantastic views of the castle and is home to the Christmas markets and Hogmanay celebrations at the end of the year, which we continued along until we came to another iconic landmark, the Ross Fountain with the castle as a backdrop. After which, if you continue about 10 minutes west, you will come to a hidden oasis in the heart of the city. Here you will find a river known as the Water of Leith and its walkway that runs all the way down to the port on the coast, straddling which you will find Dean Village. Originally a miller's village, the workers used to live in the now fantastically preserved Well Court, and the site was home to numerous mills along the banks of the river. The area declined after the introduction of larger scale mills, but the village has been faithfully restored to become an absolute hidden gem in the heart of the city. It is easy to walk a circular loop around the village, taking in both bridges and the fantastic views from every possible angle. It is hard to believe that such a picturesque place exists so close to the city centre, taking us only a 10-minute stroll from the Ross Fountain to reach the village. Though I will admit we did hail a cab as soon as we reached the Dean Bridge on the way back, which we asked to drop us on the far side of the castle on the way home, back at Grassmarket where we had been the day before. As with the time pressure and distracted by the fabulous weather, we neglected to take in one additional key photo spot, where in the corner next to the Kick-Ass Cafe you will find a staircase you might easily pass by. However, if you climb to the top, will be rewarded by one of the most iconic photo spots in the city of Edinburgh, capturing the staircase climb perfectly framed with the castle in the background, not to be missed. After which we headed back to the hotel to get changed for the evening out in the new town again, but on our way in took some time to appreciate in the daylight the Scott Monument, dedicated to the Scottish author, poet and historian Sir Walter Scott. Open during the daytime hours, you can actually climb up into the monument itself. However, tours are limited by both time and capacity, so please be prepared to be flexible. And after a short walk, we arrived again at St Andrew's Square Gardens. Here you will find a great selection of restaurants such as Dishoom for contemporary Indian and Gordon Ramsay's Bread Street Kitchen. However, we had opted for Gaucho Argentinian Steakhouse, where Lorraine wasted no time getting a drink. The basement setting of this restaurant was very upscale and stylish, so we settled into our corner seat, which gave us a great view of the entire restaurant. The meal was equally as impressive as the surrounding, as we shared a Chateaubriand for two and spied a fantastic private dining room I would be very happy to be locked in. So following a fantastic meal, it was great to come out to the fading twilight and to walk off our dinner back to the old town. However, we were in no rush and wanted to appreciate the Georgian architecture of the new town. Some great drinking options such as the Dome on George Street, and passed by on the corner the Ivy, yet another great dining option. Again though, the daylight was deceiving, as was actually after 10 o'clock at night, However, was a perfect time to appreciate this gorgeous city with all of the evening lights coming on as the daylight faded. But again, it was time to head back for yet another early start the next morning. So, here we are going to do the up Calton Hill. So, we have all those steps to get up there and a few more. So look for the before. I think we'll be in a bit of a different state afterwards. Now, many would recommend climbing the volcanic outcrop of Arthur's Seat. However, that is definitely more of an actual hike and not ideal before flying from the airport. So Calton Hill is a great compromise as one less strenuous and a lot closer. Plus the site is intriguing with a scattering of various historical monuments, including an observatory, and not to mention the National Monument of Scotland, which is modelled on the Parthenon from Athens. And the climb, if you can call it that, was not strenuous at all, with only those few steps you saw at the beginning, with the rest of the way being a gentle sloping pathway up to the top. And be sure to walk to the far side where you will get a great view out to the Firth of Forth and the Port of Leith. Well, made it up. Actually wasn't too bad. View is absolutely fantastic. We could of course have gone up Arthur's Seat, but we're a little tight for time, a little tight for inclination. If I'm honest, this was the easier option. However, our time here was coming to an end, so it was one last chance to take in that fantastic view of this incredible city. And after all of that exertion, a well-deserved drink before heading to the airport. But in summary, we absolutely enjoyed our time in Edinburgh and cannot wait to come back, potentially for the Christmas markets. However, we hope you've enjoyed our take on a trip to Edinburgh, and don't forget to check out another one of our videos up here. Thanks for watching.